So those were highlights from the mountain race. At the end of the last video, I did say that I was intending to cover the mountain race, look at an athlete in the build up to the race and the race itself. However, I've had to defer those plans for two reasons. The first is that the mountain race normally acts as a qualifier for the World Mountain Championships. There is no international championship this year, so with that off the cards, the race was less attractive. The second thing is that the week following the mountain race, there is an Elgon race. I covered the inaugural race last year. It's a race organized by Joshua Cheptegei as part of his community development work. That race has prize money, it's more attractive. So again, that's resulted in less athletes running the mountain race. So instead, I'll be covering a different topic on this video, shoes. Specifically, I want to tell you how me coming to train with athletes here has changed my perspective on them. But first, a bit more about how these videos are made. I have the help of two great friends. The first, Jacob, is a videographer. He's got really good experience in athletics videography. And we work together to improve the quality, the delivery of these videos through his techniques, through the equipment we have, and through the editing, which I work on. And the second is Joel. He's one of the athletes here. He's been great at connecting with other athletes. When I come up with an idea for a video that needs athlete participants, Joel will make suggestions, will approach those athletes and see who's willing to participate. So those two are really important in the making of these videos. So back to shoes. Rewind back, September 2022. At that time, I'd been living and working full-time as a doctor in the UK. But I was curious about the athletes in my home country, Uganda, about how they'd emerged to become major competitors in long-distance running on a world stage. So I'd come out here to Kapchora for my first training block here. And at the time, I had a huge collection of running shoes. This is a photo of all the shoes I had. And then I came out here and found athletes much better than myself, many of whom had very basic shoes or were using shoes that had long passed their recommended mileage. Now, obviously, things are different with the elite athletes here. They have access to many shoes, in fact, even prototypes that aren't yet available to the general market. But for the vast majority of the other athletes, they don't have this privilege. They just run in shoes that they're able to get a hold of. And they get the shoes either from being gifted from the elite athletes or buying them from the elite athletes or getting second-hand shoes. And over time, observing these athletes, I've gone from having the view of running shoes being this magic element in making the better runner to seeing them more as a tool, one of the many factors that are involved in running. Now, don't get me wrong, there are huge advantages of running shoes. To name a few, one, they can help you get faster, especially with the new technology of carbon plates that will provide energy return. The second is that through protecting the foot, they can reduce injuries. The third is that there's a lot more attention now into the shoes aiding recovery with the improvement in the comfort of the shoes. And the fourth is the feel-good factor. It may contribute to mindset if you have new nice running shoes in helping you run better. But there are some disadvantages too. So the shoes are getting more expensive, which may be acting as a barrier towards entering the sport. The second is that our feet may be getting weaker, and it may make us prone to other types of running injuries, things like plantar fasciitis. And the third, I want to go into more detail. It may be impacting on the running form. So one thing that's very distinct here, Kenya, Ethiopia, when you see the athletes, is how good their running form is. It's almost like seeing poetry in motion. The forefoot, midfoot striking, the swing phase, the kickback of the leg. And I think a major contributor to that is spending periods of their childhood with either no footwear or minimal footwear. That then aids with the development of ideal biomechanics, like less contact time with the ground and an increased stride frequency. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the shoes. I've met a couple athletes, sat down with them, asked them more about their opinion on shoes, things like their footwear growing up, how many pairs of shoes they have, how do they know that they need to get a new pair, and this is what they had to say.
I am 22 years. I have run for like 6 years now. Okay, when I started, when I was still young and I got inspired, I just used slippers, even any other shoe, not training shoe like this. So I could use those days steppers, even rubbers, any other shoe I could get. Okay, now I have like 5 pairs, even spikes, racing shoes that I could not have those days. I could not know even what racing is, what training shoe is, even spikes is, but now since like I got that even there are shoes for training than those days, so I see life is better than those days. Okay, past when I could use any other shoe, I could get injuries. Even any injury can come from nowhere, just so that is the main challenge that I could see when I can change the shoe. Now if you see that the shoe is old, even you can change, and if you see that that shoe is bringing you injuries, you even change the shoe.
I'm 20 years. Achai bungi sila kicha jage ni karenge training ma wondok pe. As alabat cha alabat kut. Paga aba anda ni le. Abonde ne ni. Gogein pu paso ni. Amda golle ke. Ende ne ikele ma wonde. Cha ini basubula to di munyo. Bundoy like 6 kilometer. Ya bonde ngecha bonde le kim mani to ne karenge. Nene ale ashem go te ala ke. Yitam da gollo te ke bande. Like yoga bunde ni ya bunde le 5 months. Yoga pok pe. Da ga bu ni ka pok kap se yoga pok gonya. Su chala wa na pe. Ta ko gali. Ashem la alba. Yoga nyot la ale ku galla. Isbalo ko no joro dokku.
So we've heard what two athletes have had to say about the shoes. Running shoes are important for running. Perhaps they are not changing their shoes as frequently as they should do here, and that might be contributing to injuries. But their description about shoes in childhood further reinforces my thoughts that during that phase of development, perhaps less is more. Interestingly, more and more children are going to be having access to shoes from a younger age. Maybe that will change running form. Only time will tell. So what are your thoughts on running shoes? I'd be interested to know. What have you found to be the positives? What are the negatives? How many pairs do you have? Let me know in the comments down below. So I continue to learn more, training with athletes here, and I'll continue to share more on this channel. I'll see you on the next video.